What's up, guys? My name is Josh and I'm with Atlanta Home Pros. I want to show you guys what it's like to do a DIY deck board installation. We're actually installing Trex decking and we're doing the Trex Enhanced with a Trex Select, I believe, rail system. So we went with the spiced rum. Man, it's going to turn out gorgeous. I mean, this is one of their top line boards, but that's not what we're here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is what it's like to do the installation and getting started on a deck. So I'm gonna turn this camera around and instead of focusing on me, we're gonna focus, I know, but stop. We're gonna focus on the deck, okay? So here we are. So this build, this is the pre-existing deck. So we're gonna go, customer hired us to come out and take up the deck boards and put in new railing. And that's what we're doing. So the biggest thing is finding your square. So it took us a little bit to get the finding square today, especially going off an old substructure. What we're doing here, we have two different sections we're treating this as. We got a section over here and a section here. This is running full 12 foot. Most of the time what I would do is run in and wouldn't be any divider boards. We had to do the divider board here. We're going exactly back the way it was built before, and per board foot, 12 footers and 16s, it only made sense. The homeowner actually had a free upgrade to get from a mid-level Trex to the high-end product because of availability. So we're going to basically install with the least amount of excess. So what we did is we found our square. If you see this board here going this way all the way down against the edge of the wall, 12 foot had just enough hangover because we're also going to be installing a fascia. So you want to pull from your corners from back there to your corner of your house. I'm going to tell you, don't ever go off of a house wall. They're going to be inconsistent. Very seldomly you're going to catch a straight wall. It may appear to be straight, but I guarantee you it is not. If you can't find square, your best thing to do is go do a 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6 square where you travel up. Find you a straight section, make sure it stays nice and square, get you your tools, your framing squares, make sure you got a straight section, and do your square that way. So what we did, we went ahead, we found our square. It took us a little bit of while to make sure we met all of the variables, which is we needed to have an overhang to cover fascia. We needed to make sure 12 foot ran the full length because this is designed for a 12 foot deck. Which brings me to, if you ever build a deck, never, ever, 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 unless you want to spend extra money and get into having odd sizes on the top of your build, do never design the substructure to be exactly 12 foot on from one end to the next end. If you do 12 foot from that edge to there, you're going to end up having no overhang if you happen to use fascia, or if you happen to use anything that, in the way I build, our overhang, all of our deck boards overhang at least a half of an inch, sometimes 3/8 of an inch. But even on wood decking with no fascia, we always have overhangs. It just looks better. It gives it room for thermal expansion. That is your main reason for overhangs. You're going to have your wood is going to shrink, then expand. In Trex world, the Trex composite decking or any composite decking, you're going to make sure you space them. So when you do install, if you're doing all screw down, in this case, we're going to go ahead and use the hidden fastener system. But if you do a screw down deck, you want to make sure that do not butt them up to one another, or you are going to waste a lot of money. Right? Let me repeat. If you butt up a Trex deck, or let me say that again, a composite deck board, butt them up and screw them down, you are going to have a bunch of wasted money. They're going to expand first. So even in this cold weather, they're still going to expand first. Okay? In the wood world, we want to tighten everything up together because we're going to get shrinkage first. That is a big, big thing. I've watched guys come down and put them around decks, etc., and they had spent thousands of dollars installing composite, and the decking expanded first, and it got wavy, bubbly, and it was just all messed up. So anyway, after you find your square, you got your starter board. Typically, you can get your marks in from one end to the next end and pop a line, and then I usually start with that board from one off, or whatever your division is, from one end to the next, and make sure you don't have an oddball size. Divide it up to where you have run your starter up against the edge of the house, to where on the outside of your deck, where most people are going to be standing, and going to look down and see a little 2-inch little piece. Find your square, and then you're going to install it. Using the hidden fastener systems, I got Ben here. He's actually, they're very, very simple. When you install these, make sure they're not installed too taut and or on an angle, because it will tweak that board, and the next board going in is going to have a hard time. So make sure they're installed nice and level. You're going to install these on every 16 on center, just like you do nails. But this is the hidden fastener system. They're not going to see any fasteners on the top of this deck. So once again, find your square from one end to the next. Pop your line up against the house. The idea is on doing refurbishments, or even on new builds, because on a new build, when you attach a ledger board up against a house, you will find inconsistencies in the wall. You're still going to think of the squareness without using the house. You want to find a square basically in midair using the workmanship that you've done on your installations, on your substructure installation. This is not a way I would build or design my substructure. This is totally a different way I would build. So we're going off of what's here, and fortunately they were able to do that. That build over there is actually added on, and it's freestanding. But again, the biggest thing today that I want to teach you guys is to make sure you find square. Don't go off of the house. We hit on Trex and the expansion of Trex. It is very key to know that minimum excess equals saved dollars, right? And we all want to save money and not spend more than we would need. So here goes in the second install of this. So he's got the first fasteners put in, and typically he's going to put it on a little bit of a lean. That's the way I usually do it. Just a little bit of lean there, and then boom, it kind of locks right in. There we go. You know, that's why I tell the guys to wear a cowboy boot, because it has that heel. You see? And you can go like that. Boom. That was a joke. But as that gets in, then you're going to install the next fastener. 16 on center. Very simple.
I need some screws for the back of this.
Is it pushing it up?
It's rocking it.
Okay.
There. A couple of them
So,
there.
in this given case, guys, we do have color match screws. They do make Gore-Tex screws that actually plugs that you would recess the screw. In this case, we didn't do that. That would be an upsell to the homeowner. On your stairs and on your short pieces that you cut your edges off, you make sure to get matching screws that are designed for your composite decking. Big mistake people do when you go to build out your jobs. Make sure you order solids versus grooves for your stairs. And that's how you're going to make sure you don't have that edge when you come walking up the steps. We're going to touch base with you guys a little later. Right now we're going to install the decking. As you saw, boom, you install the fasteners, put it in on a little bit of an angle, snug the next board to it, install more fasteners, and keep working your way down. Over and over again. Always make sure you have your overhang, and keep on keeping on, right? Well, when we come back to you guys, I'm going to show you the next step in the rail system on how easy it is to install a Trex rail system. So I appreciate you guys for taking your time out of your day to learn how to square a deck and some key points working with composite decking. Anything else I want to touch on? You know, again, I think it's 345, 456. Which one is it? 345. 345, which you can also, if you pull let's say if you pull 3 foot this way, 4 foot that way, from that point to this point should be exactly 60 inches. If it's off by 1/8 of an inch, that means you're 1/8 inch out of square. That means you're going to move your boards how you need to move them. So 3, 4, 5, again, it works like this. You go, and if you mark the outside edge of the board, that's where you're going to need to mark on the other side. So I'll pull 3 foot from here down to there, put a mark. From that point, I'm going to pull 4 foot and put a mark on the outside edge. And then I'm going to pull the tape and I'm going to measure from that corner back to the beginning of this corner. And this should be exactly 60 inches. That's how you guys will find square. You can do that on large scales, 30 feet, 40 feet, 60 feet. That's another way to do it. You can minimize and maximize it however you want to do it. It's just simple math. Okay guys, so again, working with Trex, make sure if you're doing screw down in the face of the build, make sure you add your space. The best way to add a space is a pencil. Your traditional Home Depot pencil is a little bit on the thicker side. It does do the work, but I think I would do, what did I usually use? Dang,
nails, 3-inch
nails.
regular nails.
Yeah, framing nails. See, sometimes this is just a little bit too big. See, yep, just a little bit too big. So, and when you use a nail or a screw, you want to make sure you barely snug it, but yep, that works perfect. The width of that. So if you guys do that and you want to do a screw down into the face, make sure you leave this space, because or else you're going to ruin the build. All right, guys, so thanks for staying in touch with Atlanta Home Pros. We're located in South Atlanta, and we do service all of Metro Atlanta. If you're interested in a free estimate on a refurbishment or a new custom build, we do all like-kind quality builds, from screen porches, decks, combos, refurbishments, refitments, railing, so on and so forth. Thanks for watching.